As you guys know and have been seeing in my videos and my social media, such as my Instagram, which is @BlakeHerrick_, that I am a raw foodist. To most people, this probably came out of nowhere because for my entire life, I have been a meat and potatoes type of person. Although a very healthy and strictly eating one with minimal processed foods, minimal junk foods and sodas, everything like that, and only like one cheat day a week, living mostly on whole foods, but cooked foods and some animal products. So if it was working so well for me, why did I decide to go raw? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you guys my top 3 reasons for going raw. So, are you ready? Let's go! The first reason why I decided to go wrong is diminishing returns. I'm somebody who likes to stay very fit. However, I also have a very busy lifestyle and I still continue to work a 40-hour-a-week job. I work remotely, so that makes it a little bit nicer. So, sidebar, strong recommendation that you guys can find a way to work remotely. But still, when you're sitting down a lot, it's easy to fall out of shape, meaning your body composition is less lean than you would like it to be. When I was a personal trainer running around all the time, I was burning a lot of calories and I was shredded. What seemed like effortlessly because the workouts, the steps were built into my day. But then getting back into the corporate world, working a desk job, I still work out basically every day. I still eat, well, at the time I was still eating the same food, eating, very clean, chicken breasts, fish, steamed vegetables, baked potatoes, rice that I would, rinse thoroughly and get all the starch off, as much starch as possible off before cooking it and eating it. All right, but I noticed it was harder and harder for me to stay lean, to stay as lean as I wanted, to stay as lean as I once was in my personal training days. So I thought that the answer was to just do more. And so I went down that rabbit hole of trying to just amp up my workouts, and that made me more tired, more sore, more hungry, and it only made the problem worse. Until I felt like, I should start fasting. I should try a fast and give myself a reset. And so I started with water fasting. That led to juice fasting and the raw diet. When I went raw and I was able to work out even less, even though I have a desk job, and that my results were actually getting better and better, even though I was doing less, yet I was still eating big portions of food, big smoothies, big salads, lots of fruit, my chia bowls that I like to make, big things of guac that I like to make, dipping with cucumbers. I'm actually on a juice fast right now, day 16, so I must be hungry because I'm talking about all this food. But it just astounded me how easy it was to stay in shape and to solve the problem of diminishing returns that I was getting with excessive workouts, yet still experiencing weight gain, water gain, and not even to mention all the other problems like fatigue, soreness that came along with that excessive working out. Reason number 2 that I went raw is for cleanliness. Now you might say, Blake, just take a shower, man. Or like, hey, you look pretty clean already. Thank you. I did shower today. Although As I mentioned, I'm on a juice fast, so I think my body's detoxing a little bit, and I'm detecting some of it in my armpits. Also because I'm trying to not wear deodorant as much and slowly wane off of deodorant. So maybe my body's just used to having deodorant in order to not have that smell. Who knows? Who knows? Hoping it's detox. But no, I'm talking about cleanliness inside your body. There is a whole field of study, a field of science that is called natural hygiene. And again, the word hygiene, that just sounds like what we would say today as taking a shower, maintaining your hair and, fresh clothes and all that stuff. Well, this field of natural hygiene goes back over 100 years, quite possibly into the 1800s, depending on who you classify as a natural hygienist. Now, these people talked about not the hygiene of your exterior body, but the hygiene of your interior body. You see what happens as time goes on. The foods that we eat in today's culture, in the SAD diet, and even in, as I mentioned, healthy foods that are cooked but still have animal proteins and starches, your chicken breast, your steaks, your fish, your eggs, especially combined at the same time as you eat potatoes and rice, even if they're steamed and the most healthily cooked versions of those foods, which obviously most likely that's not going to be the case. People are going to be slamming pizza and, donuts, which has wheat, which is one of the worst starches of all. And I don't mention wheat a lot, which are your pastas and your breads, because I haven't eaten that style of food this entire 2.5 decades since I lost 100 pounds in high school. But these starches and proteins start to build a coating on your digestive tract, much like a plumbing line in your house would get coated with gunk and grime as time goes on. We're programmed to think, or some of us think, or because our families think a certain way about it, that, as we get older, things change about our bodies. Start to get more aches and pains, start to get more arthritis, start to get more creaking in my joints, start to gain some weight, start to get more tired and not have as much energy. It's just time. It's just the clock ticking away. Oh, no. I beg to differ. Maybe some of it. We can't completely sidestep Father Time. I don't know of any immortals myself personally. Everybody dies, even the health experts. But what we can see is that over time, those foods that are building up that coating inside of us that our body cannot digest, it's getting worse and worse over time. We can't move it out. And as it's inside there, what it is consisted of, as I said, are starches, which are sugars, okay, and proteins, all right? Now you're gonna have mold and fungus and bacteria that are going to want to break those things down in our body, because that's the point of bacteria, mold, fungus, even viruses. It's to help nature, as in natural hygiene, right? It's to help nature break down decomposed matter. That's what you see when you go into the jungle, into the forest, onto the bottom of the ocean, onto the roadkill on the side of the street, right? That's what's happening inside your body. But our body doesn't like to be festering and decomposing from the inside out. So when I started to learn about this natural hygienic system, this science, this art, this movement, and was just totally shocked at how they look at things. It's totally vastly different from allopathic medicine, which is, You have symptoms and then you take a pill to hide the symptoms, never solving the root cause. And the root cause is mostly, the majority of the time, what we're putting in our mouth, and then the result of what we put in our mouth not coming all the way out and building up over time. And once you clean that stuff out, as has been shown time and time and time again through all the patients of these natural hygienist people and these people that have gone on fast and gone on raw food diets, whoop, whoop, gone on juice cleanses, gone on grape diets, where they just eat grapes for an extended period of time. It's actually not that bad, okay? That they eliminate this matter that's stuck inside them, and all the health problems that they were experiencing disappear. Now, I didn't have, any pressing health problems other than it was becoming harder for me to stay as jacked and ripped. And I thought, I refused to buy into the notion that it could have been age. All right, so when I found this and tried it and got that stuff out of me, and yes, I have pictures. It looks exactly the same as you see on the internet. Just Google mucoid plaque. And then felt not only those symptoms go away and have proof of that as well, but there's like an X factor that comes along with that. Section number 3, the third reason why I went raw is just that, you guys. It is the X factor. When you look at a fruit grows on a tree, and then the tree will drop that fruit when it's ripe. And then we pick up the fruit and we eat the fruit, and the tree lives on. And maybe the next generation, it bears even more fruit. How interesting is that that same fruit tree that sustained us when we were younger, let's say, hypothetically, is now producing more and more fruits every year as we are starting to procreate and have more offspring every year. So just think about where we fit synergistically into the circle of life, okay? Like on Lion King, yeah. We are taught this in school. It's common sense. There is a synergistic, relationship, like symbiotic relationship between elements in nature, and we study it and we think it's so cool, and how there's a circle of life and an ecosystem. So how are we somehow outside of that ecosystem? We're not, guys, okay? We are not. We fit in to the ecosystem of Mother of Earth, just like every other organism. Now let's look at let's look at a carrot, okay? This is gonna be kind of like a curveball for you guys. Oh, a carrot. He's talking about a vegetable that's totally cool to eat too. Well, yeah, generally accepted as really cool to eat carrots. That's totally fine. I actually juiced many carrots today. I made a green juice and I made an ABC, which is apple beet carrot, okay? Both had lots of carrots in them. But when a carrot is a root of a plant, and when you pluck the carrot out of the ground, you see how that plant now dies. All right. So now we're kind of like talking about like the circle of life and death. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to stop eating carrots for that. But there are some extreme people that follow this sort of protocol that would say they only eat things that don't result in the death of the plant. All right, let's move out of the plant kingdom. I hope that was a pretty easy example for you. Now moving into the animal kingdom, what happens when you take an animal's life? All right, Yeah, you're killing the animal just like you killed the carrot. Okay, but this is a higher level organism than a carrot. Okay, there's more consciousness streaming into that, let's just say a deer. You know, my family are hunters, and we would hunt deer and use their skins and use their meat. Okay, I'm not saying that there's anything inherently wrong with animal products. But what I've noticed from not consuming animal products is that I have more of a reverence for nature and the circle of life. I have a greater respect for all things, living things, and like plants. I got really into plants. Like, you know, I've seen where animals are more curious in me and will even come extremely close to me in nature. Kids start staring at me. They're just like, whoa. You know, I have more random conversations with strangers, and I'm able to just kind of listen to them, and then they just spill their guts to me, and I'm just like, yeah, I hear you, man. You know, respect. That's the X factor that I'm talking about. Is I think that there's an energetic lifting of your frequency, raising of your vibration that happens on this diet, on this raw, plant-based diet. It's really incredible. All right, guys. And once I experienced that after a couple fasts, and then after juice fasting and after being raw, there's no way that I could go back. You know, I mentioned my family, hunters. We're also fishermen, and I'm an avid fisherman, guys. I can't go fishing anymore. I lost all the zest for it. I lost all the thirst for fishing. I just want to leave the fish alone now. Okay. Now, that's might be a big one, especially for somebody who ate the way that I ate growing up, like I said earlier in the video. And you might be in that same boat. But all you can do is try it and see how you respond and see how you feel. So those are the 3 reasons why I went raw and why I'm staying raw. I'm still raw to this day. Juices, smoothies, salads, chia bowls, dips, mono fruits, fresh distilled water or spring water. You guys, this lifestyle has been the biggest shocker to me, especially later in life. I came into this realm when I was 38, after already over 2 decades in the wellness field. You know, at first I wanted to conquer the diminishing returns of all my workouts. Check, accomplish that. Then I wanted to clean out my body. Check, accomplish that. Felt amazing after releasing the mucoid plaque out of my body. And then third, that was the X factor. That was the one that surprised me, that I had heard about. The benefits of fasting, clearing your mind, clearing your emotions, being more reverent for life and nature, feeling more oneness and more connection. Until I experienced it for myself, and I was like, wow, that is for real. That is 100% for real. And so I hope this information serves you very well. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, I'm offering a free consult for a limited time only until I can fill my book of business. So click the link below. You can also email me, blake@rawfood.lifestyle. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Punch the like button. And until next time, guys, I will talk soon. Peace.